Hi, I'm Neil Kelleher. In this video I'm going to talk again about the deep squat, and this is a ongoing session, I should say. It's an ongoing session. I've been working with one commenter who's been having problems with the deep squat, and in the latest message he told me that one of the reasons that he has issues in deep squat is so the initial issue was trying to straighten the upper back. The tendency was to fall back. But then from there, the problem is apparently tightness in the hip, forcing himself into lotus pose. And so he said that he gets a tightness in the groin, and he didn't specify where. So he said the inner thigh. Didn't specify where. He said one of the inner thigh muscles, so I'd assume it's the gracilis, which attaches from the pubic bone to the inside of the tibia. Could have been the sartorius he was talking about, and or the semitendinosus. All three of those muscles attached to a point on the inside of the tibia, and their shared attachment is called the pes anserinus, or goose foot. So doesn't really matter which muscle. Okay, yes it does. So I'm assuming it's more than likely the gracilis he was talking about, which attaches more or less right here. So the gracilis attaches from the pubic bone to here. All three of those muscles, so one of the interesting things about those three muscles, they attach from the inside of the tibia. All three of them attach to corner points of the pelvis, of the hip bone. So you have the pubic bone, asic, and sitting bone. So more importantly, what can we do with this information for working towards a deep squat, or being comfortable in the deep squat? So one thing that we can focus on is, while standing, an exercise you can practice doing is rotating the shins in or out. So in previous videos I may have pointed out, when you rotate the shin out, the arch lifts. When you rotate the shin in, the arch collapses. So you can focus on doing that. But then what you can do, so you can repeat that exercise a few times, but then what you can do is focus on feeling the top of the lower leg bone, so just below the knees, doing the same exercise. So it's almost like you could imagine rotating your knees out, rotating your knees in. You could focus on feeling the outside of the knees, the inside of the knees. So practice that in relative isolation. Then what you can try doing is try doing the same thing in a squat. And if you have difficulty balancing, you could always do that leaning against a wall initially. Try to rotate the shins out. So again, feel, and I'm sure this looks a bit indecent on the video, apologies. But anyway, you could rotate the shins out, so feel the outer edge of the shins pulling back, the inside of the shins pulling forward. Then try and slowly move in. So out, in, out, in. And because this person's pain is on one side, something else you could do, once you're used to doing that action, is focus on the pubic bone. So something you could do with the pubic bone while standing is try moving the pubic bone slightly, actually no, move the pubic bone to the left, so I'm mirroring you. Turn center, move the pubic bone to the right. Center, left, and right. And if you wanted to, you could just do left, relax, and something else, and then right, relax. Something else you could do while doing that, so turning the pubic bone to the left, you could try lifting or lowering slightly. And because this was an injury, you could see if there's a position where it feels comfortable. So that could be the next exercise. So again, in this position, you could rotate the shins out, try moving the pubic bone left or right. Rotate the shins in, move the pubic bone left or right. The amount of movement is going to be slim or not very much, but just focus on doing small, slight movements. See if there's a position where you can make both hips feel comfortable. And something else you could do, so as well as moving your pubic bone left and right, in either of those positions, so say move your pubic bone to the left, you can try shifting your hips left or right relative to your feet, and then do the same thing, turn to the right, move your hips left or right. So these are general ways of adjusting. So then back in the squat. So if you're against the wall, you may have to use your elbows, but rotate the shins out. Turn your pubic bone left to the left, move right or left if you need to. Then shins roll out, turn the pubic bone to the right, move left or right, and then repeat that action with the shins rolled in. And ideally, you can find a position which is comfortable for both hip bones. At the same time, it doesn't mess up your knees. And then what you could try doing, go down into a squat. Here again, you could try moving. What you could do, move your pubic bone left and right first. That could be an exercise in and of itself. Go slowly and smoothly. Then what you could try doing, move your pubic bone to the left. Try and roll your shins out, in, then relax. Move your pubic bone to the other side. Roll the shins out, in, then relax. And then maybe find a position somewhere in the center that feels comfortable, that feels equal for both hips. Either rotate the shins in or out as you need to, and then from there, try straightening the spine. But that's that for that video. You may get some discomfort in the knees after that. I can feel my knees a little bit, so be careful with this. It may be helpful to do some forward bend or some active knee strengthening exercises afterwards, so do be careful. Also, be aware of your foot positioning. Maybe move the feet closer together or further apart if coming out of that position you feel knee discomfort. It might be because I was doing that against the wall. But anyway, that's a quick look at what you can do for hip discomfort in deep squat. Hopefully it was helpful. And again, if you have, if anyone has any comments about these exercises, please feel free to ask. Thanks very much for watching. Namaste.